Everybody, welcome back to Dual Planet, the YouTube channel where we talk all things media. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. And today, guys, we will be doing a review of episode 5 and 6 for Daredevil Born Again. And what a bunch of episode they were. As always, I'm joined by my fellow co-host Azteral.
Hello, everyone.
And obviously, as always, we will do his breakdowns of the two episodes, and then we'll get into the review. So we'll take it. Go ahead.
So, episode 5 is opens on a weird note. Obviously, we're still away from the Daredevil in my Daredevil Born Again series, which this episode was getting us much closer to it. But it's St. Patrick's Day in Marvel in this episode, and Matt is trying to get a loan from a bank. And his banker in this bank that he's trying to get the loan from is Yusuf Khan, who hopefully most of you know as Kamala Khan's dad, aka Miss Marvel's dad. But Matt gets rejected for the loan because he takes clients that can't really pay, which is, a Matt thing to do. But this is like a typical heist movie episode. A group of armed thugs working for one of Kingpin's former associates, Luca, enter the bank after Matt has left. Matt returns, obviously, because he's Matt Murdock. But it's a bunch of Irish bank robbers, one of whom has probably the most consistently awesome line delivery in any Marvel project ever. Big shout out to Killian O'Sullivan for his performance as the lead bad guy in this episode. Great line. But Matt and Yusuf sort of team up to stop the bank robbery. Not really team up. Matt sort of does most of the work. Get a bit of like funny commentary between the main bank robber and the detective who's negotiating. The interesting thing is, we don't actually know what they're here for, and one of the hostages confirms that they won't find money in the vault because they've been banking there since the bank opened years ago. Their entire family's banked there, and they don't keep any money in the vault. There's just safety deposit boxes. So it's sort of a mystery what they're after. But after Matt says he needs to use the restroom, classic line, he knocks out a guy in a red mask, which love the colours because obviously Daredevil is primarily a red character. They have a nice fight, very cool. All the fights in this episode 5 are sick, especially the last one. Which the last one I will actually like go through entirety what happens because it is brutal. This one in the stairwell isn't as brutal. But we eventually find out that what they are after is a diamond. After Matt does a incredible Irish accent, we get to see the inner workings of the bank vault as Matt cracks it as well. That was also cool. But then Matt sort of tricks the cons. He tosses the diamond in the air to make the main bad guy catch it as the SWAT storm in because they've had enough. And obviously, it's never simple, so the main bad guy ditches his bank robbing outfit for a cop outfit, hands the diamond off to their inside man, who was one of the hostage, or in this case it was an inside woman, and Matt gets chased to the main bank robber, and this fight was absolutely brutal. I mean, they fight, and Matt's got his walking stick that he's turned into two like billy clubs. They're fighting. Matt smashes the guy's head into a glass bottle, which was insane. So the guy's face is completely like cut open, and then to make matters even worse, after he knocks the guy down, he leaps into the air and snaps the guy's car with a kick. Like, it just goes down, and you hear it snap. You hear the guy scream. You get to see the leg actually like bend in like the shot.
Safe to say
Brutal.
that guy is gonna not be using that leg for ages.
Brutal. Then it's revealed that Matt also swapped the diamond with one of the candies that Yusuf offered him earlier in the episode. And then he returns to the bank, gets invited to family dinner with Yusuf and his family. So maybe we'll see some Daredevil Miss Marvel action eventually. There is also a photo on Yusuf's desk which does show the family. So the brother, the mother, and Kamala. And then the episode ends with Yusuf finding the diamond that Matt has cleverly put into the bowl of his sweets. But that was episode 5. That episode was good because of, I think, the Irish bank robber. He was the best part of that episode. He was hilarious.
He was fucking funny. That shit was like, that guy needs to be in more stuff because he was so good.
But obviously, it's a double this week, so we don't just have one breakdown to do, we have a second one. And because of that, this means that this is a full 2-episode review / ranking rather than a single one.
2.
Episode 6, which was titled Excessive Force, which is an apt description after what Matt did last episode, opens with, well, let's just say it's not exactly the nicest opening for them, as we get to see a brief glimpse of Swordmaster in one of the BB reports. Obviously, Jack has become more of a vigilante after the events of Hawkeye. But then we transfer to a railway worker standing on a bridge with the train going past, and then another railway worker who I think is the guy from the bank.
It's the same guy.
No, I mean the guy that finds the body originally, not the guy that reports it. I think it's still the same guy.
No, the guy
though.
who does the guy who's cleaning the paint off the wall is the same guy.
But they find a body, and it's got its eyes gouged out, and then they try to wash down a mural on the wall, but they can't. We'll find out why later. Cut to Matt reciting Bible verses and praying while having flashbacks to the bank incident, and also to Hector Ayala. Then we have Fisk meeting with Luca, who of course was the boss that they were wanting to steal the diamond for. He gets threatened by Fisk and has a tax of $1 million placed on his debt that he owes to another gang member. We cut to Matt and his therapist girlfriend, who's like, "Don't forget, you were a victim in a robbery. Feelings." And then they talk about her book, which she's writing about vigilantes. I don't want to say that you found the perfect partner for that, but let's be real. She wants to interview a vigilante, asked to be set up with Frank Castle, because obviously everyone knows that Matt Murdock was the Punisher's attorney. When that doesn't work, she asks to be set up with Daredevil, to which me and Jordan both went, "You already are."
Yeah, I basically came out with, you just kissed him, so have fun.
Then we get sort of a admission, and an embarrassing admission for the NYPD, but the guy from the last episode, one of the hostages, is reporting to Fisk that they can't clean any of the murals down. When asked why, he goes into a massive rant about what he had to do and blah 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 blah, and then he blurts out probably the greatest line ever: "The paint's mixed with blood, like human blood," which has done something to make the paint really difficult to remove. Matt and I forget her name, but his partner in the firm are having a meeting when the young Ayala arrives to bully Matt and be like, Matt, my uncle was onto something. Matt's like, it's a police matter. What do you want me to do? I'm a defense attorney. Great performance from her again. She's not had much in the way of dialogue in the show, but any dialogue that she has had has been very well delivered. But she leaves angry because Matt has refused to do anything. Granted, she doesn't know that he's Daredevil. She just thinks that he's a good guy. And then Fisk decides that he's going to create a task force to hunt down Muse, because that's the street name that he has indeed been given. It's not a name that the police or any vigilante has given him. That is just his street name, his art name.
Tags his art.
And we actually get to see Muse attack two girls, and later in the episode we actually get to see what he did with their bodies, which was prop them up next to paintings. Vanessa and Fisk have a nice little heart-to-heart while he's out begging for money for his port project, which gets stoutly refused. We also get to see, again, Jack from Hawkeye, Swordmaster. Very cool to see him back, and it does make the world feel a bit more connected. Then Cherry and Matt have a little heart-to-heart. Cherry informs Matt that there's a serial killer, upward of 60 victims for Muse already. Not great, but thing. And this is where we get the reveal that he's killed the people. That's when Fisk sets up his task force, and it's full of the corrupt Punisher cops that we've been seeing around. And they all accept. They have rules like they get overtime, they get no body cameras, so they can do pretty much anything to get results. Not great, but you know, what can you do? Then we cut to the young Ayala again, but this time in the subway station that she told Matt about earlier in the episode. She's obviously gone to finish Hector's work, and probably not a great idea for her to do this because she pretty quickly gets grabbed by Muse. Matt gets a phone call off of her mother saying that she hasn't come home. Matt immediately dials 911, pauses, lowers the phone, thinks for about 3 seconds, and then utters the words, "Fuck it," and then goes upstairs and dons his Daredevil suit, because that is the kind of shit we've been waiting for.
Daredevil,
We get to
officially
see
this episode, Daredevil is born again.
we get to see an epic rooftop run, and then he leaps off the rooftop and then swings his baton, and it shoots the grapple line out, and it's awesome. Muse carries I can never remember her first name. That's why I keep calling her the young Ayala. White Tiger's niece. I can't remember her first name. I think it's like Angela. Angela. That's her first name. Angela is carried into Muse's little den of murder. She's injected with something. Not sure what. But then he stabs her in the leg.
Keep her asleep or something.
Then he stabs her in the leg and starts draining her blood. But then there's noise outside. Oh no, what's happening? But before we talk about that, Fisk goes into the basement where he's keeping Adam, aka Vanessa's former lover / cheating partner. And they have a fight, but that fight's not really important.
That fight basically just ends with Fisk sat down looking at the guy's body, very almost deadish body.
But the big part of this final few minutes is the scene where Muse hears noise outside, walks to check it, looks down at a train that's going away from it at the red lights. You see a figure running towards the camera, and then a grapple line gets shot past Muse, and Daredevil swings into frame.
Yeah, Muse's face, you could tell through the mask, Muse was like, "Oh shit."
We get an epic fight scene. Great choreography as always, by the way. Also, we get to see Muse doing some like weird movements. Like he wakes up and he twitches after he gets knocked down at one point. It's pretty cool. Matt ties him up with his cord and is effectively like hanging him. But then he rushes over and drops him so that he can go and do CPR on Angela. Because she's died because she's had blood drained.
He tries to, but then he ends up just punches
her in the chest.
Punches her in the chest. She wakes up.
She wakes up.
Muse gets away.
Muse gets away. Angela says Daredevil, because she's surprised that Daredevil's there because he's not been seen in like a year. And then the episode ends with Daredevil saying, "I'm here. I'm back." And I was like, yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
And that's it. That is episode 6. Immediately my favorite episode now. Number 1. It's like a 9.9 on its own. Like episode 6 was so good.
I'm with you on that.
The dialogue in this show just keeps hitting. Like last week we had Punisher's like monologue that hit. This week we had the Irish guy delivering all the fucking like lines during the robbery. That all hit. This episode we had Fisk's speech to the cops, and then Matt's just the admission of "fuck it." It just adds like, so much.
Fuck it, because he goes to call the police, but he's like, "Fuck it."
Yeah, I am thoroughly impressed with this show. So to think that I was worried about this.
Exactly, you were because it's like very. It would have ended. You thought it was going to be very Disney-fied, but it's really fucking not.
I thought that they were going to tone down the violence
it's
like
pulling no punches at all.
I've seen more blood and gore in this show than I've seen some horror movies.
That's true. That's actually a fair point.
like Matt is breaking limbs left and right. Muse has mutilated corpses and painted with their blood. It is brutal.
And
I love
insane.
it. I'm not crazy, but I'm glad that I got to see the depravedness of Muse. I'm glad that they didn't be like, oh yeah, he does art with like body parts, and then they were like, oh, we're gonna change it, because they could have easily gone, oh, we're gonna change it. He does it with like mannequins, and it's like red paint and not blood. They could have easily done that and been like, look, it's not really a thing. We just make it seem like it is. But yeah, I mean, what more can you really say?
Because that, I've got to admit, the show is fucking pulling no punches. It's doing really well, and overall, I am glad that we are getting a season 2 next year.
Yeah, I'm glad that they actually managed to make a compelling Daredevil show, especially after all the misses that they've had. But like,
they've basically done the original show and made it 10 times more than it really was. They've made it much more brutal, much more less than it was. Because they've got that Disney money, so they can do anything they want.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, I'm checking IMDb. Episode 6, he is listed, Hunter Doohan is listed as Bastian. But he didn't appear in the episode as like any other character.
I'm telling you that it's him. It is definitely him.
He's got to be Muse.
That shit is creepy as fuck. He was creepy as fuck.
But yeah, overall, these 2 episodes together, I would say like a 9.
Yeah.
On their own, I would say that episode 5 is probably like an 8.7. and episode 6 is like a 9.8 because that shit hit so hard.
I agree with you on that one.
I don't know how they are managing to top episode on episode. Like, being realistic, the weakest episode so far is probably episode 3, The Trial of Hector Ayala.
Yeah.
Probably the weakest episode from a pure, like, insane standpoint, but even that's like an 8.
So far, none of these episodes have been below an 8.
All these episodes have hit in their own unique ways.
Yeah. But I've got nothing else to say. Have you?
Nope, I got nothing else.
Well, everybody, we hope you enjoyed this review of Daredevil Born Again, episode 5 and 6. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the episodes. Did you enjoy the episodes? Did you enjoy the show? Is this your first time ever getting into Daredevil or whatever have you? But we hope you really enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
We forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them.
It's over, Anakin!